right. Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, Snowbirds meeting room. I'm Shadow Spectre 11, and we are in wave 1. Wave 1, EPTU 3.23. It has been rough. They've got Xenothreat going on in it and some other things. But I did get in and was able to do some things in the game that were just amazing to me yesterday. Uh, I got a pretty good server last night and enjoyed it thoroughly. So I'm gonna switch over and
Roger that, flight crew.
So, patch notes. They are extensive. I'm going to move this camera over. Give me a moment because it's kind of in the way. There we go. Okay. Patch notes are extensive. This drop, when they put this out, there was a hot fix yesterday, and it was huge. I was trying to capture footage, and it's pretty rough trying to get some footage right now. But I will be making videos once I get to that point where I'm able to actually get a hold of it and work on it and do that. I am also doing a series of the Road to Evocati, which I started yesterday, and thanks to Space Guy Ty for helping me with that and getting me started with it. Now I know what to look for and what to do, and make some good reports. So we'll see how that goes. But I am going to be doing that series. 323 is just got to settle out and become a bit more stable for me to do instructional videos and things like that. So I'll be trying to hold off as much as possible until the very last iteration, probably when it hits wave 4, so I can start doing some stuff. So as we know, this is what we've got to look at, and this is what we're coming up with. It's massive. This drop for this patch was pretty huge. As you know, there were three entries of patch notes. So I did get to finally use the star map and travel to another location, and it was amazing to use. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was great. The next thing, the modes of the ship, it changes everything. Your operator modes, you've got all sorts of things that are going on. there's a lot of issues that are happening in there right now. But as far as like moving your ship and doing these types of things, it's crazy. It's totally crazy with all the things that you have to do. So you're going to have to learn a lot. There's a lot that has changed. Um, just by these, and then targeting, that's in here. Uh, with the Xeno threat event going on, you're going to have to come up with, setting up and things like that. It I was finally able to get in a combat helmet and see the dynamic crosshair and things like that. I even went to a distribution center on Hurston. Um, I do want to get footage of that. I was just into it, trying to see what was there, and I was, like I say, there's a lot of work that they got to do, but I was impressed. Um, so I went into this today to check this out, and I think this is cool. Now, this is if I decided to make Shadow Spectre 11 a male character, I can actually go with this one. So I've been playing around with this, and I may do a extensive one on this to get more of a in-depth feel for it, and you know give you like a tutorial on it, because it is pretty extensive. So I could finalize this character. So I already have this one, and then I'm going to make this one. I'm going to export that. And there it is. So I can go back to character customization. And now I've changed that. So I can go back here. Take that. Import it. And there she is. So now I can, her skin tone, I'm going to change a little bit. Now this is a bug, so that's going to be taken care of. And I'm going to export this character, and we're going to confirm that, and now she's set. So the character creation is just extensive. Now, Shadow Spectre 12, I cannot bring him into the EPTU yet. He will be in when it becomes all backers. So we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to accept this. going to head out. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of 323 and go from there. So, so the next thing, the Overdrive event. Okay, Overdrive initiative. We know Mission 5 is Stage 5 is running. There are some that were able in the organization that were able to get it done on the first night. I didn't get it done till the next day. The problem was that things were glitching and going into the ground. So I was able to get it done. Me and Space Guy Ty were able to finish it. Yesterday, I took Spectre 12 in and was working on it. I actually got all the boxes. I used a tractor beam, put it on the ship. Was able to get to the pyro station, and I did one box at a time, and the last kiosk was broken. So CIG put out something about this. And I mean, all of us have been working on this mission, trying to get this mission done. There's quite a few that got it done. This is the reward we're going to get. The upgrade to the from the 7C to the 7A. The free rental of the 7A. And the set of Xenothread medium armor, which is pretty nice. It's cool. So, as we know, Mission 5 is the last phase before the Xenothread assault. Okay? It's supposed to go live in 23. Okay. There's an issue that's going on with, as we know, with 5. So, since this is going on, I don't know, and I'm wondering if they're going to keep the F7 in the store. I have no idea. But since they extended it, they may do that. So, there was an update that came out. And it's from Jake. And he says, "Hello everyone. Hope you're all having a great weekend. We've been observing issues with Phase 5 of Overdrive Initiative that have become evident on the live servers. And we want to let you know that we have been monitoring your experience with this phase very closely. We are putting together a strike team to resolve these issues for the upcoming 23 update. To ensure there's ample time to complete Phase 5 with the fixes, we will be extending this phase's completion date. We'll have more details once 23 is live, but we wanted you all to rest assured that if you are unable to complete this phase currently, you'll be able to in the new update. Thank you all for your patience." So you may get lucky and be able to finish it before 23 drops, or you can do it afterwards. But at least they acknowledged what was going on with it, and we go from there. So, I'm just excited for 23 Wave 1. I thought the first night it hit, it was a little rough. There's some con- there's some key mapping issues going on, and the one thing that I did not like with that is that the default joystick uh, setup is gone. It's not working right, and you have to go in and redo everything and stuff like that. But that's one thing is, as far as I'm concerned, any game has a default setting, and it should always be there. And I hope in the next build that it's fixed. So, if anybody has any questions, comments, or thoughts about this, please feel free. Throw them out there. It's or throw them on my main channel. Let me know what you're thinking. Um, we'll go from there. But I this ISC was really good as well. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the one before that more, but this one was about the event. So I'm gonna watch this. I kind of skimmed through it. Hey, what's up, Joker? I kind of skimmed through the ISC, and I did like it. I did watch part of it, but I really I didn't get a full comprehension of what was being said. So I'm gonna watch this with you guys and get more of a take on it.
Those of you playing Star Citizen for the last month have been experiencing a new kind of mission chain for a new kind of global event called the Overdrive Initiative, the 5-part prelude to the return of a newly improved Xenothreat arriving in the upcoming Alpha 323. And so this week, we went to the folks who created it to discover their original intentions, to hear their reactions to how it's been going, and to get a look at what lies ahead for this and additional initiatives leading up to 4.0 and beyond.
Overdrive Initiative, codenamed Hex Penetrator, was an attempt for us to dip our toes into new events and quest chains for players to progress immediately or over a set amount of time.
We're a live service. We need to do things that increase engagement and get players playing together. So the Overdrive was our way of experimenting with some stuff that's most common in other MMOs and trying to see if it's a good fit for us.
It's a 5-phase mission that prepares the players for the Xenothreat event.
And it's one of the first times that we've actually kind of done a longer storyline across multiple contracts rather than just, here's just one.
So in this case,
which I have enjoyed. This was by them throwing a storyline onto a quest set was really, really cool. And for those that came in late trying to do it, they're still available. So if you've already done it, right, you can go with people that have not completed it and help them out, which I thought was really cool. And most of the time you can't do that in things, especially events. They kept this running all this time so people could still get the enjoyment out of it, and I thought that was really cool.
we try to release the new missions weekly, but depending on feedback and information data, we either shorten it a bit or take a bit longer.
And the idea is that we run it for a phase. It's somewhat grindable content that gets harder with each new one that you do. And it's all towards some sort of greater narrative.
It's more giving the players a deeper understand of the lore of the game and prepare them in advance to the Xeno threat at the end of a long time mission quest chain.
Whether you want to increase sales, generate leads, or build brand awareness, Google Ads.
So let's start with phase one. The phase one was a data heist where the player had to go down and recover some data off of servers.
We gave it a bit of a narrative spin where the CDF has detected a lot of their security bunkers going offline or being taken over by senior threat soldiers, and they're recruiting any willing and able body.
And you have to go and infiltrate and capture the data to figure out what they're doing.
And keep the server room protected until the hacking is done.
We balanced this for all of the AI to be the tough part of it, along with the servers, so the further up through the mission chain you got less time to recover each server and turn the cooling off.
Warning, security breach. Response.
And you had more AI coming to attack you.
One of the main key differences that I had the joy of implementing is we took some of the tech from Squadron over, where it's not just Xenothreat attacking you, but they're also putting a lot of pressure going into the server room. You might spot some of the Xenothreat people actually rushing down into the server room to try and check all the covers to see where you're at.
A lot of good feedback so far.
I think phase one went well. We did a lot of work on improving the AI.
Some people getting the intended experience that we have designed, where the AI are reactive, where everything's working perfectly.
Some people.
Okay, phase one, it did have an issue, and a lot of people were not happy with it because it didn't report right. But the event worked well. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun doing it with the org. And when I tried it on the EPTU by myself, I just wanted to see how it would work. I took out everybody in the bunker. But when it came to me doing the data, I put the chip in and I got jumped so quickly that I didn't last 10 seconds in that part of it. So it was good. It was good.
People have spotted some of the AI rushing to the server room, and they were like, I didn't even know that AI can sprint at me. Like, is that new?
Yeah. When they come sprinting at you, it's like, wait a minute, whoa.
And other people who are, reporting the chip didn't insert or the AI aren't as reactive as we'd have liked. These are all things that we take down internally, and we look to improve constantly to better the experience in live.
People seem quite pleased with the new kind of flow of things and the AI being way more accurate and scary. More John Wick, less couch potato.
Depending on the number of players, it gets really tricky because there's a difficulty curve between the first time you try the mission till the last one. The first time is quite easy to get with 2-4 people, but since you get to the end, it gets really hard to achieve it.
I've seen people coming with 20 to 30 people just to raid that one bunker, which is, in my opinion, a bit of overkill, but it's really cool to see.
And yeah, it has. When we did that one time, and where you have to do the upload six times, 6 phases of the upload, it got progressively harder. And it was more enjoyable for the group, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I did a lot of the work in the server room, and then I went out while somebody else did the server room on another one and covered the elevators and stuff like that and looking for codes, and it gives you an all-around experience if you do the different aspects of it, and it's good. This is one of the best events that they've put out besides the actual massive Xenothreat attack. I love Siege of Warsons, but Siege of Warson has got to work. I've gotten there too many times. In the last drop on it, I've gotten to the last platform and looking for Mendo and couldn't find him because he's clipped inside of a wall. So that's what's going on with that.
So phase 2 is then a bounty recovery mission.
Where you have to go and find so many Xenothreat people.
The civil force detect that there is a Xenothreat target that has a decryption key that will allow us to discover information about the Xenothreat movement.
But it's
Now, this one was good. It was a little buggy on the first run, but everybody was able to complete it. We all helped each other get it, take care of it. I was doing I did do the chip part of it, but I was mostly doing the combat after I completed it, with everybody. And it was a good time. We had a good time doing it.
encrypted, and the CDF has then located some high-value targets from Xenothreat, which are holding a decryption key. So you have to go out there, take them out, steal their encryption key.
Target destroyed.
And then bring it to one of the drop-off points.
Kill them, steal it, and deliver it. We can get more intel on what Xenothreat's planning next.
Target destroyed.
These missions used to exist way back when in the PU, but they were taken out because they were broken. So we made an effort to fix these up and then reuse them in this phase.
My main mission was to grab the bounty mission that we already have there and merge it with the delivery one, be sure like the decryption key was a spawner, and do that merge between both missions into one main mission style.
Sell to millions of people online with Shopify social media and marketplace integrations.
Try the cargo terminal.
The idea was these scale up and get more difficult as you go. But on release, there was a bug which actually made some of them a little bit easier, as I have seen people and also had messages saying stuff like, hey, the Xenothreat Overdrive initiative, phase 2's ace. And then 30 minutes later, might have spoken a little bit prematurely, and then a massive wall about something that might be bugged. So thanks for that, Army esports guy.
One of the more ridiculous things that I saw on phase 2 is the hover bikes, people using 3 dragonflies to take down the hammerhead, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know what to say to that. Well done. We'll look to make the AI respond to dragonflies and actually kill you, because there's no way you should be able to kill a hammerhead in that video.
Agreed.
Vehicle.
Congratulations. Target is destroyed.
I have contradictory feelings because it's like I put so much effort on this mission, and because of balance issue, you see these people taking the mission in a different way. But in the other side, it's fun to see the pro players that we have challenge themselves with our missions.
Phase 3 is Xenothreat being a bit more brazen. They realize that their setup has not been working so well, so they're just doing all-out incursions. They're popping up randomly around Stanton with a massive combat fleet.
The idea in normal MMOs is you turn up, you get entered into some sort of quest, and it's like, this thing's happening, you can engage with it, and if you leave the...
There's been an issue with this one where you'll go to the spot and it won't work. And then you've got to abandon that and then wait for it to pop up again. And if you're on a planet and you just start out coming out of the hab and, you know, gearing up and then running to the ship, you could lose it. So, and you have to, and the thing is, it can't be shared. So you have to pick it up and you have to get there to do it and complete it. And there will be waves. It was intense. It was really good though.
The area you sort of, the quest is removed. The incursion is our first step into trying to do that with the current system we have.
So
with a massive combat fleet.
The idea in normal MMOs is you turn up, you get entered into some sort of quest, and it's like, this thing's happening, you engage with it, and if you leave the area, you sort of, the quest is removed. The incursion is our first step into trying to do that with the current system we have.
It's a challenging thing that you will need to get collaboration between the different players to be able to tackle down those ships.
So the idea is you go to a location, and there's lots of ships. And everyone, it's a server-wide event, so even if you've not done phase 1 or phase 2 of Overdrive, you can still do phase 3. It won't skip your progress, you'll still have to complete the previous phases, but the idea of it's kind of a, this is happening right now in world for everybody. Everybody needs to get here and help us destroy all of these ships.
What's interesting to me there is that when we played it, it was quite difficult, and we needed to cooperate and stay coordinated to take down like the big amount of ships that needs to be killed.
So, as of recording this hasn't happened. What I expect to happen is that some lovely players will turn up in a bunch of dragonflies and just make it all look like so. Thanks in advance.
How does this make you feel?
I love dragonflies, I got one.
In phase 4, we kind of split it into 2 subsections. So phase 4 will have a section that is...
Now this was the most fun one. If I have to say anything, because I'm not much of a, you know, I'm more of a pilot and I'm more of a cargo pilot and all like that. And, you know, doing those types of things. I'm getting better with my fighter combat. I'm not as good as I want to be, but also I got to deal with a lot of lag. And when I do take aim and fire, and then I go to maneuver, it kind of slows down for me, and then I get rammed into. And there's been a lot of ramming by NPCs, so just letting you know, it is not getting any easier. It is getting harder as we go along.
A comma rate, and then there's like a 4.A, which is Korea.
First phase is...
And in the time that they changed Korea, I have never been to Korea until this mission. I have never been. I did it once when I had a crime stat a while ago when Korea was deactivated, but I've never been to Korea while it's activated. And I did make a video of while we were inside there on the Overdrive event.
Is 3 comma rays back to back are being taken down by Xenothreat operatives.
And then you have to go in and stop them. And in the meantime, as you're doing so, be ready to face some ships.
They're guarding it, and you're tasked to reactivate the comma ray. When you do, they're throwing everything they got at you. and try to reconnect to the comm array.
Obviously, these are crucial to the functioning of the law and communications around the planet they get taken down from, so you need to repair them. We've added some fun little surprises and changes to them, so it's not going to be your generic comm array run that people are used to.
And once the comm array is reactivated, the turrets come back online and help you in the fight. Apart from the comm array being guarded, it's also more focusing on the combat. We're throwing a lot of ships on you, as well as the Vanguard ships are hacking into the comm array while you're re-establishing the connection. So you need to focus your fire on those ships before targeting all of the escort ships.
Target destroyed.
So the idea is that some players would be dealing with the outside defenses and other players would be trying to actually get in there and sort of make sure the comm array is handled. After you've done enough of these, it turns out that it was all a red herring.
And actually, they're doing an all-out assault on Korea to wipe the entire criminal database and sow some chaos so they can plan something more sinister. Which...
Now, the second time we did this, we got there, and after doing the comm arrays and everything, we got there and there was nobody inside. So we were actually able to finish it without any combat. But the first time we did it, it was a madhouse. It was insane, but it was good. It was fun. It at first you're like, oh my God. And then when you actually completed it, it was good. It was satisfying, you know. Just an all-around good time for the group and everything. Like I say, I'm not an FPS first-person shooter ground person all the time. But when it's time to do it, we just go and do it and enjoy it.
You're being tasked to all fly to Korea and take out the incursion of soldiers there. So phase 5 is our events refractory period, just kind of cool off.
And the reason we do this is actually a sort of tried and true game.
Okay, this is the one we're in now, and there's issues with it. Some people were able to complete it. I was able to complete it yesterday, and I'm working on Spectre 12 to complete it. But there's a bug in it. There's an issue, and CIG knows it. It is having problems, and they are going to fix it. So they extended the date for this particular event. So we have time before the main incursion by Xenothreat.
Design thing where if we keep giving you constant action, your dopamine levels are sky high, and then stuff starts to get really boring. As such, people turning up in dragonflies to kill a hammerhead, clearly not enjoying this normal game.
So phase 5 is a delivery mission where you have to go bring supplies to the jump point from Pirate of Stanton, because you're aware that Xenothreat's about to raid you, and you want to make sure you're prepared for that big battle.
So what we do is we have little respites where the action peaks down, and then we'll peak it back up. And because phase 6 is the whole Xenothreat event, which is a huge battle, and it's going to be hopefully very difficult, we have a little bit of a respite. Not too much. When you do phase 5 and you have to do these sort of delivery missions, there will be AI there to try and stop you.
Yesterday when I did this with Spectre 12, and I got to the site, there were ships that came, and I saw them through the cockpit of the C1, and they were there waiting for me to take off. So what I ended up doing is I tractor beamed all the boxes into the ship, and Tex came over and I shared it with him so he could get it. And I pulled a quick maneuver and jumped away without any contact. And then get to the last box to go and put it in the kiosk, and the kiosk was messed up. So I have to try it again. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. And hopefully they fix it so we all can get it done, because there were so many people trying to do it. And it is very hard to get. You have to be quick with the button to the key to get it. So.
But it won't be as big as a battle as the previous phases that you would have seen.
Parents know you go around shooting people?
The jump point itself isn't a whole lot different from any other station, aside from that it looks way cooler because, we're building up. Welcome to Pyro soon. People will get to Pyro soon.
Landing complete.
But it's also just a very, very, very far way for you to go. Because you're always supplying to Pyro, you don't know where you're picking your supplies from, so it can either be a very quick jump or it can be a very short jump.
And now for Phase 6, Xenothreat, which you've all played, but we've made changes to it. We have updated the size of some of the boxes, so they're a bit more difficult to handle. You have to be more aware. Some of them will require a dedicated tractor beam. There's a new commodity that will help you out inside Phase 2 of Xenothreat, which is the protect and resupply of the Javelin. And then the Showdown has had a whole rework based on some feedback and some cool thoughts we had from the Capture the Idris event that we did. I'm not going to spoil any more of that, but stay tuned. Try to board it. So the Overdrive is our first sort of foray into quest missions in an MMO. Things that are meant to be repeatable, grindable, meant to encourage the community spirit and people to play together. This is the kind of direction we were starting to head in when it comes to these quest chain missions. This won't be the last one you see.
So what we're hoping to achieve with Overdrive Initiative is more quest change and mission linking, more in line with other MMOs that are on the market, which for a more enjoyable play experience instead of more disconnected modules, and give a bit of a narrative flow to it as well, to become more a game.
One thing I'd like people to appreciate is that when Chris himself and Rich asked us during some of the reviews as we were making the missions, they asked how the balancing went and if it was difficult. And both Elliot and I's response were, well, for us, it's really, really difficult, but we are kind of terrible pilots anyway.
I saw players in the forums saying that they have now motivation to every Friday go back to the game and tackle the new mission.
For the development side, what we're trying to achieve with this is just new ways of making missions, make gameplay for players more fun.
We're constantly evolving and making the game better. Seeing feedback, we have our own internal thoughts of how we think it well. We've done our post-mortems, and we know how we're going to improve it for the next one. So from here on out, it's only going to get better and better, and we're going to see more and more quest chains come in.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the Overdrive Initiative has been a fun new addition to the persistent universe that touches an entire host of gameplay features for Star Citizen. That if there's one thing you can always count on, it's that the Star Citizens themselves are going to find emergent solutions to the challenges at hand. And that while this may be just the first gated mission chain for the persistent universe, it definitely won't be the last, as it sets the stage for a proper welcome to Pyro during our journey to 4.0 this summer. And if you haven't played the Overdrive Initiative yet, there's still time to play all 5 phases starting tomorrow and running until the release of Alpha 3.23.
Now, we know that when this came out, it was on Thursday, so Overdrive Phase 5 started that Friday. And Jumptown is still running, and it will end tomorrow.
For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
You have to explain hex penetrator.
So hex penetrator is an anagram for pre-Xeno threat, but we know that people data mine our source code. So I just came up with a random anagram that was very inappropriate. I didn't think it was gonna last, and then unfortunately, once it was there, people all started referring in documentations like, oh, so the hex penetrator mission's this and like this and that, and I was like, well, I can't change it now. It's going to confuse everybody. So my lasting legacy in this company is a mission called Hex Penetrator.
How does Chris Roberts feel about this?
He laughed, then told us to change it, and we forgot. Oops. Sorry, Chris. Yeah.
So, that was the ISC, and it was good. The way they explained it and talked about it, I thought it was pretty cool. So, okay, for the next and last part of this, I'm going to see if I can get into EPTU and take a quick look. It's been running kind of rough today, but it is what it is. So I've been in today just checking it out, and it's been rough. I had 10 excuse me, crash recoveries on the servers that I was trying to get into. So let me go in here real quick and make sure that I've got the right one. And they're doing this, and I'm going to import, bring up shadow, view. Nope, that is not right. So going to exit this. And I have to redo this. So I'm going to import it's all messed up, so I have to change this totally. Well, actually I have to log out because this is all messed up. So we have to accept this one for right now. Go back, quit. And restart. So I have to go back into the character creator to redo this and get it the way I want it. It's going to take me a minute to get there. So I'm gonna catch a quick drink while I do this. Because I've been sitting on that screen for a while, so probably got a little messed up and corrupted. But I can always do this too. I can go and kill the character, kill the one that I have right now, and restart. And let's see, so that we're going to put down here. It is going to take a minute for this to kick up. And if it's messed up, I'm just going to wipe out this and put a new character and start the character over. See how it works out. But if anybody's got any questions or comments or thoughts on it, let me know. And the Snowbirds meeting room is going to get a makeover. Everett and I have been talking, and we're going to make a change on the Snowbirds meeting room. The interface and get it cleaned up and stuff like that, so it'll look better. It's going to take a minute. Here we go. And let's see what we got. Probably got corrupted because it was sitting there. Okay. See if it, and there she is. Okay. And everything is good. And this was the last place I was. So we'll see what type of equipment I have. And we're going to log into it and see what happens. Hopefully we'll catch something. It won't dump on me. The roughest part of doing this, getting in. And a lot of times I'll get a 30K on connection and then I have to start all over again. So right now I'm going into shard 30 on an EU. And hopefully it'll catch and connect. I'm not sure. And there it is. This is normal for me, so just giving you a heads up. So we're going to try it again. And it does take a lot of time to connect. This is where I left off last night. And hopefully, we're trying 30 again. And haven't connected to it yet. It's loading, but I'm getting a FPF average of 0 at the moment. I may not connect to this one. This one's not looking good. may not connect to it. Because I'm not seeing any FPS activity. It's trying. There we go. So it's connecting at 3.5 on this server. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, it takes a minute. So bear with me, and hopefully we'll be able to get in and see something. Well, like I said, last night I logged onto an EU server last night, and it was the best experience I've had in the EPTU. I was able to get from Hurston, or from ArcCorp, get on the ship, do a quick quantum run, use the star map, set a course. I actually got that to work, and get there, do a little things on the water, which they were kind of dark, but go to a facility and take a look at it from the outside, and it was cool. Then I went to ETA, landed, and used the combat helmet and see the dynamic crosshair, and use a weapon, try it out, see what it was like. It was cool. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. So as things progress, I will try and get all of my get as much footage as I can, and when it gets cleaner, I will start making my tutorials again. So as this is running, I shall return momentarily. Give me a moment. Be right back. we're still in the loading
Roger that,
screen.
flight.
Man. This is the hardest part. Trying to get it to come up. Oh, it says I'm at Everest Harbor. That's when I logged out earlier. When I was able to get in. But I couldn't get out of the hab area. So I was stuck there. Server keeps the FPS fluctuating a lot. This is long loading. don't know if we're going to make this one. Oh, there we go. And it put me back on Everest Harbor. Do I have any armor? No. No. So, I'm not sure where my equipment is at this point. It takes a minute for it to register for me to get up. But I do have to say this, I haven't been colliding with other players as much as I used to. So I don't have any equipment. And I've got nothing here. So I'm gonna have to go by. Hopefully I can get out of here this time. It did move, by the way. It's just lag. It's got to catch up. And there we go, and I just died. And I'm floating. And dying. And I'm walking somewhere, have no idea where. You are incapacitated, no kidding. And I just did a T-pose. And hopefully it'll put me back on Area 18 so I can get my equipment. But this is EPTU Wave 1. This is the roughest part of the EPTU for backers who are not Evocati. This is the roughest part, the first iteration that's going to public. Wow. Well, I was trying to get in so you guys could see a little bit of it. I'm gonna call it because it's really rough right now, and I'm gonna do some more tests again. Hopefully I'll be able to get some footage and go from there, but I don't mean to keep you. This is Shadow Spectre 11. Thank you for the likes and thank you for the views on the Snowbirds meeting room. Hopefully we get a better run on this during the week, and I'll see you I'll see you next Sunday on the Snowbirds meeting room. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend.